Hi everyone and welcome to Club 4 episode 15 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So since you and I were together last, we've had a run of very, very tricky fixtures. Pretty much the top three in our division around us last season, we played in a row. Leading into it, we were on an 8-match winning streak. We're not on an 8-match winning streak anymore, and it's been very, very difficult. We won one of the 3 games. We lost the other 2. We've also been beaten in the Welsh Cup third round as well. So today we play Colwyn Bay, our former side who we used to manage. Time to get back on the winning track. Let's see what happens. Welcome back to Connah's Quay Nomads in the top flight of Welsh football. So, things haven't gone great. As I said, we'll go straight into the fixture list. We'll show you these last few games that we've played. Bangor City, the New Saints, Cardiff Met Uni, all in and around us last season at the top of the table. And unfortunately, we lost 2 of the 3 games. We won the third against Cardiff Met Uni. But it's kind of a bit late at that point, really. Once the New Saints get any form of advantage over you in the league, they're almost impossible to catch, and they've now got an 8-point gap at the top of the table. We are currently sitting in second. That's important. It's what we were trying to set out for ourselves this season to do, is to finish in second position, because I knew the New Saints would be difficult. But even so, still really disappointing after such a good run of form leading into those sort of set of fixtures. I thought maybe that would carry us through to at least one more point, maybe a 3-point win somewhere in those 2 games against Bangor and the New Saints. But it's not to be, and that has put us, as I say, a little bit adrift of the New Saints. But for today, we played Colwyn Bay, one of our former teams in this particular series, so that always adds a little bit of spice. They're sitting down in 9th. So in theory, we should do okay. It's about time that we get some consistency back again, though, and set us going for the rest of this first part of the season. There's a split after the games that you saw listed in the schedule. There is a split where the top 6 teams split off and the bottom 6 teams split off, and they play in groups of 6 for a further 10 games this season to crown the champions, etc. So the season is not over yet. We've still got a fair distance to cover. I'm desperate to try and hold on to that second position. What that will mean for us long term here at Connah's Quay Nomads, I don't really know. I think the New Saints are going to potentially be beyond us to overturn, but we'll continue to try, absolutely, for as long as we're here. But as I say, for today, it's all about the game against Colwyn Bay and trying to get those 3 points and trying to secure that second position spot in the league for this season. So, let's see how we get on. Having rotated the squad a little bit for the cup game just gone, it means that we've got a fairly fit and healthy squad, mostly. What I would say is we've got 2 injury issues. We've got Reese, who is usually our right-sided winger, and he's out for the next little while. He's on his way back, should I say, but he's been out for a little while, so we're just protecting him a bit. He could play a little bit today if I wanted him to, but I think we'll just protect him a little bit. The other one that's out injured at the moment, unfortunately, is Bodnam. He plays in this central defensive role here, and he's going to be out for a little while, up to 3 weeks, unfortunately. So that's a little bit of a blow because the Beaumont and Bodnam central defensive partnership has worked pretty well for us mostly this season. So that's unfortunate, but we'll have to make do. Everybody's had game time recently, as I say, so that means that mostly everybody's at the peak of their fitness, which is fantastic. So for today's game against Colwyn Bay in the league, we go in with Park in goal, Barrett at right back, Roberts at left back, Beaumont and Amos in central defence, Berry and Pinchard in central midfield, Mitchell on the right, Motruck on the left, and Rees and Johnson up top, with a bench of Evans, Edwards, Cullimore, Evans, Kowalik, Bowres and Lloyd. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So Because of defeat in the last game in the Cup, I've gone a little bit in their face, a little bit. I've pointed the finger and basically said Colwyn Bay are in 8th in the form guide. We're above them in the form guide. Let's show them why that is, for goodness sake, and get back to winning ways. So we'll see whether that works for us. We're at home, so that helps us. Hopefully the home advantage will propel us forward a little bit. And then it's just about putting them back on the pitch and getting them to produce a positive performance. Now, ultimately, it's not been terrible in the more slightly distant past. Not distant past, what am I trying to say? It's not been terrible, the run of form that we've been on recently, other than those big matches against Bangor and the New Saints, where we didn't quite do ourselves justice. And then rotating the 11 in the Bala game in the cup competition really caused us some problems. But ultimately, the form has been reasonably good up until that point. It's time to get back to that. Now that we've had those big games, for the rest of this first half of the season, we can potentially play with a little less pressure on us and play some of the slightly lesser sides and get some real confidence up leading into that second half of the season where the league splits off. Hopefully, we can begin to do something here. 26 minutes in, the cross comes in, but it goes deep, right the way across from right-hand side to the deep left-hand side in the penalty box. Motruck tried to head it back across goal, didn't really work for him. We have another highlight, though, again in the 26th minute. Johnson threw ball to Motruck down the left-hand side to the byline. In it goes, and that was really unfortunate. A good clearance by the defence in the end clears the danger, but we got in and we had a chance and didn't quite manage to take it on that occasion. Again, the ball goes through, but this time the defence sort it out for Colwyn Bay, and their goalkeeper comes out and clears it. We win it momentarily in midfield, then we give it away, and they've moved the ball out onto the left-hand side. Defensive shape is there. It wasn't really good enough. They got a free header pretty much at the top of the 6-yard box, but he hooked it over the top of the bar, fortunately for us. That was a real let-off, really. They should have gone 1-0 up at that point. And again, they've won the ball in the defensive area for themselves and are coming on a counter-attack. We try and put pressure on, and it works. Eventually, the ball out wide on this right-hand side wasn't quite accurate enough. We managed to put the pressure on and win the ball back. Johnson tries to poke it through for Rees. Doesn't get through, but Johnson eventually gets through himself, and the goalkeeper does enough to parry the ball out for a corner kick. So the corner on this near side, taken by Berry into the near post area. It gets headed away, and they pick up the loose ball as well and charge over the halfway line and then put the through ball in for Evans to run onto. And they've put it in the back of the net. Now, 41 minutes into the game, fortunately for us, that was disallowed. They've disallowed it for offside. 41 minutes into the game, though, things are not really working out how I'd really want them to. A little bit of a hangover from the last couple of results, really, it feels like. Specifically, maybe that cup game as well. Getting knocked out in the cup, just dampening the spirits a little bit. And we've got to boost that up. And as I've mentioned in the build-up to the game, we also have a couple of injuries of key players, which is really disappointing at this point in the season, but just one of those things. There was a chance there. Rees gets through on goal, but doesn't quite manage to put it home again. We get a corner out of it. And again, the near post header goes over the top of the bar. Accuracy is not king in this particular match, is it really? They've had 8 shots at goal, 2 on target. We've had 11 shots at goal, 5 on target. Our XG rating of 1.6, the expected goals from our chances created, in theory should have provided us with a goal by now, and it hasn't. We've shaded the possession just about. But ultimately, it hasn't really been dynamic and good enough. So we're going to have to be a little bit forceful with them. I think we'll go and thrash the arms. Not good enough. Absolutely unacceptable. It will upset a couple of the players. It will motivate a couple of the other ones. But ultimately, it really wasn't good enough. Colwyn Bay, with all love and respect to them, having been the former manager of them, they're sitting down in 9th. And we need to be winning this type of match. So on we go into the second half. Almost 5 minutes in already, we get the first highlight. Couple of chances here, and it's a scrappy goal in the end for Johnson to put the ball in the back of the net for us on a header at the top of the 6-yard box. There was a couple of attempts. The cross comes in from this point from Mitchell down the right-hand side. Goes over the top for Motruck, heads it back across goal. Johnson there before the defenders, and the goalkeeper was then out of position because of that looping header back across, and he was able to tap it into the back of the net quite comfortably in the end. And we finally take that lead, which is really positive. Can we keep moving forward now and do something with the rest of this game? I'm not going to sit back on it. I'm not going to try and defend it out because I don't think we're good enough to play that style of football. I think ultimately our best strength is to try and get it into the final third and get Johnson on a few more opportunities. So we'll see if we can do that. And Mitchell is the one on this next opportunity. Instead, the sweeping cross comes in, but again, it's been disallowed, and we'll have to check why. There was seemingly, not sure why that seemed wrong to me, but there we go. You tell me what you think about that in the comments below. I think that was an error of judgment from the VAR, to be honest. I don't think that was a problem at all. I think we should have been 2-0 up. Even so, we're coming back again against them again. And a really good low cross in from Motruck on the left-hand side. Johnson gets the shot away, but the ball is sent out for a corner kick. Corner comes in, we win the loose ball, and Motruck will recycle possession for us, and we'll send it down the right-hand side. Mitchell takes over. Chance for him to get the cross in. He does so very deep again, though. He's not really putting his crosses into the best area, is he? They're always going over the top of the strikers and to the other wide man, who has to then put it back in again. And that's a bit of an issue. If we could put those one-time balls into our strikers, that would be a great help, but we'll see what happens as we progress on. 20 minutes left of the game, so we will make a couple of substitutions in a second, but we'll just see this highlight out. It's Colwyn Bay on the ball at the moment, but they've blasted the ball over the top, and we've won it very comfortably in defence. Barrett sorts that out for us, and it's back to the goalkeeper. He can now set us going again. Worked it out right onto the right-hand side for Mitchell. Berry takes over. Johnson gets a nice through ball. He's got a lot of work to do. And he does it. And this is what I was saying. We give Johnson the ball in the right place and he will get us the goals. And that's our best form of defence, really, is to score more than them. And it was a good ball from Berry. He had a lot to do here, Johnson, but he manages to dink it over the top of the goalkeeper and still get it to come down enough to get it underneath the crossbar and into the top of the net. So we're going to pause the game there, 2-0 up with 15 minutes to play. We're slightly more comfortable. Let's go and make a couple of changes. Luke Rees not having a good game up front, so Lloyd comes back to see if he can get going again. We're going to take Roberts out on the left-hand side of defence and put Edwards back in, who's been playing there fairly recently for us. I was trying to give Roberts another opportunity. It hasn't worked out. It's Edwards' position to lose now for the rest of this season, you'd imagine. Amos has come in. He's low in conditioning, low in rating. He's come in for the injured Bodnam. It's not really working out for him. So we're going to put Evans in instead just to finish out the game, give him some game time and see what happens there. Motruck's quite lucky to stay on, or unlucky potentially, because it's mostly his fitness. But we can only make 3 changes. So those are the changes we're going to make. And we'll have to see out the rest of the game as is. So 15 minutes to play. We've dominated the shots at goal, at least, in terms of the ones that are on target. They've only had 3. We've had 8. Other than that, and the XG rating being far superior in our favour, we've struggled a little bit today to properly put this game out of reach. Let's see if we can do that. 5 minutes left. Can we get a third goal and demonstrate the superiority in the sides, really? Beaumont with the ball at the back for us, sends it out on the right-hand side, inwards to Berry. He puts it over the top for Motruck on the left-hand side, crosses first time past the strikers again, and the defenders get a chance to clear it. Again, the accuracy on the crossing, not really good enough. But Colwyn Bay's accuracy, getting it down the pitch, has not been good enough all through this particular match, and we've won the ball back. Johnson drops in to get involved in the play. Berry goes over the top for Lloyd. Lloyd in on goal, and he dinks it over the top of the goalkeeper, a bit like Johnson did a few moments ago. And the same result occurs, and we get another goal from it. 3-0 up with a couple of minutes left to play. Finally, the game is completely put to bed. And that's a very good finish. Again, Rees and Lloyd have been rotating in and out of this second striker role occasionally, just seeing who's on good form at any given time. They've both scored a few goals for us here and there. But again, it's Lloyd that makes his opportunity count on this occasion. So Colwyn Bay win the ball back in defence. They put it over the top for Scott. Charges through on goal. Puts the ball in the back of the net very comfortably for Colwyn Bay. Our defence completely went to sleep there. The back line was in a reasonable position. And then all of a sudden, this ball here, and he just ran off the defender, caused us all sorts of problems, and puts it into the back of the net for a 3-1 lead. 2 minutes to go. I'm hoping we're going to be comfortable. If they get another goal, that will put some real pressure on. But the time is absolutely flying by now. We're into 30 seconds remaining. There's the full-time whistle. It was a relatively comfortable display whilst not being at our total best. But I think the issues that we experienced more than anything came from the changes in the back line that we had to make before the game and then throughout the game, to be honest. That didn't quite work out for us, but everywhere else was great. Mo Truck played brilliantly on the left. Obviously, Johnson got his couple of goals. Lloyd supported that with a third goal for us as well. So from midfield forward, I think we were doing pretty well, and that's kind of what we're basing our play on, really. Can we outscore the opposition? On this occasion, the answer is a resounding yes, we can. So, just before we find out what we're doing next episode, it's worth having a look at the league table and seeing that we are 18 games played, but most around us have only played 17. So, the fact that we've taken it down to 5-point gap between us and the New Saints won't matter if they come and win their game week game and get back to that 8 points this week. Oh dear, my mind has melted completely. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. We've put the pressure on. It's for everybody else to respond to that. But more importantly at this point, to be honest, it's about the teams below us. And we're just putting a little bit of a gap there as well, which is really positive. So that's all well and good. We've got a few more games to play for this section of the league before it splits off into that top 6 group continuing to play each other. So if we go and have a look at the schedule, you see we've got another 4 games to play in the league, plus another game in another cup competition. We've been knocked out recently of the Welsh Cup. We're still in the Nathaniel MG Cup, and we've reached the semi-final of that. And the semi-finalists don't include Bangor or the New Saints or Cardiff Met, I don't think either. So this is the chance for us to win a trophy. Barla, our opponents from the last round in the Welsh Cup where they beat us in extra time, are the opponents again in our semi-final. So we're going to come back and play that next episode. We're going to step out of the league just momentarily, go and play that cup game and see if we can get through to a final of a competition and maybe just win some silverware this season would be magnificent. So we'll see if we can do that next episode. In and around that, I've got Swansea Uni. I've got a couple of games against Kefin Druids. And then we finish off this section with Haverfordwest before moving forward into that top 6 group that continue to play the game. So still lots to do. We'll see how we progress. But Barla, I'm coming for you next episode. We're going to try and get through to a cup final. Let's see what happens. Thank you for joining me today. It was a decent win over our former club in the end. 3-1, pretty comfortable ultimately. Sets us in the right track for the remaining games of the season. So hopefully we can continue that forward. But that's going to do it today. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That will help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.